Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron here. Church Bible Publishers, not local church, but Church Bible Publishers, has sent this review copy to me to review. So I thought I would oblige them to review this. And this is what they consider their Turquoise. It is their 140 series, red letter edition. It's got 2 ribbon markers, has the raised banding. It's not necessarily art gilt edging, it's just gold edging, gilt edging as they would call it. It is ironed calfskin, and it says that very loudly in the front. Here's the 2 ribbon markers. Let me get these 2 ribbon markers out so you can see the length of them. Most of the time they've been doing ribbon markers really good. They're just basic black ribbon markers. You can see they stick out. Let's see, 2 3/4 inches. Really thin, but I like them thin like that. It does have the stitching around. And it's going to be Smith sewn. Church Bible Publishing, for the cost, is making some of the best Bibles out there. Now I'm going to show you too why it's got the colored headbands, tailbands, why this was a review copy. These are actually selling for $60 on the Church Bible Publishing website. I think they're normally $75, and we'll just cut right to the chase on why these are. And I just found this, they didn't point it out to me or anything, on why this is. Well, they've got great concordances and everything. So we're going to come back here to Revelation. And I'll show you some of the things I really like. But you can see in Revelation, there's some entire verses missing. And I think it's where Jesus was supposed to be speaking. So it's like they had a debate, should we do red letter or not? The classic Cambridge text, of which the Turquoise is one, normally does not have red letter. So it's like they wanted to put red letter there and then just had a mess up. And so I went on their website and it says something basically to somewhat of that effect. But on some of that, I'm just guessing of why. But anyhow, I mean, it's missing verses here. Now, let's just read this. And this is no reflection on Church Bible Publishing at all. But okay, so it's missing verse 7, verse 12, verse 13, verse 16 of Revelation 22. It's missing those 4 verses. And then verse 18 says, "For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book." So I'm like, well, but this was not intentional. This is printing technological things. So we understand that. So let's keep going here. And this is, again, I'll just show you where it's iron calfskin. It feels leather lined. If it is not leather lined, it is something fantastic. And I would highly recommend this. And they may even, have something to put in the back over those verses. But let's just go through it and like it's not missing those 4 verses. Maybe I shouldn't have started out like that. But I mean, just fantastic. And it's like the finest Bibles in the world, the R.L. Allens, the local church. You can just fold it up and it just goes. Now, it does leave a little bit of a wrinkle, but that's okay. Then it has the spine stabilization page right there. And then it's going to have several good, thick writing pages. And that's all good for spine stabilization as well. So the good folks at Church Bible Publishing are just doing absolutely awesome, incredible jobs getting the Word of God to the world. Of course, I'm a big KJV fan, KJV man. Get persecuted a lot for that, but It's just the truth. Nobody's ever convinced me otherwise. I've done a lot of research, a few decades. And you can see it says review copy. It's the 140. But man, Church Bible Publishing, I just can't speak highly enough of the quality and the product they are producing. It's going to have the epistle dedicatory, and yes, it's also going to have the translator to the reader. Now, a while back, I did a review on the Turquoise from Cambridge. Turquoise is a little bigger than this, but they call this a Turquoise, kind of like just maybe a shrunk down Turquoise. Absolutely phenomenal, classic text. Look at this readability. Cambridge and Oxford perfected the black on white printing. And I found out that those text types, like I think the blackface goes back to maybe 1897, and the Clarendon to 1904, and some of their other text types into the 20s. And so, man, this is really just the prime time for Bibles right now. But another thing that I like, I'll show you here, like when you have a chapter, like we'll do chapter 5 here, it also shows you what number chapter that is in the Bible. And does that all the way through Revelation. So that's kind of cool. So like that's the 95th chapter in the Bible, and kind of serves for the unity of the Bible. I know like Fuller's got a great book out on the unity of the Bible, and people are really getting away from that. And I think it's letting error creep into the Bible, because they're just like, well, I'm translating Isaiah, not predicated on anything else. Well, the King James translators didn't do that. They would translate, especially the New Testament, predicated on the Old Testament, and not just take something on its own. They knew the unity of the Bible. You can see the center column reference. I'm going to say this is a solid 10-point type here. The center column reference is going to be more like a 6-point type. I mean, it may be 11-point, and it's just a tad light. Let's see how it compares to the Cambridge large print. I mean, the Cambridge large print is just a little darker and just a hair bigger, maybe just even a 1/2 point size bigger. It's going to be a smaller Bible, but you're not going to get the center column reference that you get in this Church Bible Publishing 140 mid-size Turquoise. So let's go to the New Testament. Let's see what we've got in the New Testament here. It is red letter, which a lot of Cambridge Bibles now are coming out kind of not red letter, but they're still coming out with some red letter. Like the Concord, which is what evangelicalbible.com would say is the best, maybe the best sweet spot Bible, is available in black letter and red letter. So I'm glad. It's just a good Bible. You know, I'll probably do a comparison sometime between this and the R.L. Allen 62, and whereas this does have kind of wider margins on the outside, and the R.L. Allen 62 has wider margins, even though it's not a wide margin, has wider margins all the way around. This is a much better Bible to carry. The 62 is just too big for me, like to carry. I think we're going to surprise one of the leaders at the church with that 62, Lord willing. We get through doing reviews with them. I was looking to see if it was red letter in Revelation, but obviously it's not. So here's Concordance. It's got the classic Cambridge Concordance, which is great for space. It doesn't take up as much room, but it's a little more difficult to find things. I've kind of had a love-hate relationship with this Concordance. I used to not like it. Now I kind of like it better, but not as much as I did just a little bit ago. So, our tastes change there. But you just can't come, like quality Bible for $60 or $75 in the non-defective edition. You just can't beat that. Here's an example of their maps. High quality. I just appreciate Church Bible Publishing. And I thank the Lord they sent this for a review. I'd been praying. They don't know this. But I was like, Lord, I don't have the money to get this. And I'd really like to have one to do a review. And lo and behold, it comes in the mail. That's happened to me a few times in my life, and I do thank the Lord for it. So there's a total of 15 maps, and then several thick pages for writing and spine stabilization in the back. So we'll measure this guy in just a little bit. I mean, it's definitely bigger than my Cambridge large print, but and look at it, wow. It's funny, preachers, a lot of them, they like this, they want to preach like that. Okay, so let me do this first. I'm going to see what the side margin is, because this thing has 3/4 inch side margins. It's not that much in the gutter. And it's close to that at the top. It's not nearly that at the bottom. It's 1/2 inch, maybe 6/10 of an inch at the bottom. So, there's plenty of room to write in here. And since the center column is not so filled up with things, there's a lot of room to write. And somebody was asking me the other day for a center column reference that had a lot of the King James 1611 references. I'm not sure if this is a lot of the 1611 references. And like in the 1611, they'd have various variant translations from Hebrew and Greek in the side. I'm not sure. I'd have to get a 1611 and go through it. I haven't. Other people have. So let's see how big this guy is. This is almost exactly 10 inches tall. Almost exactly. So it's not a small Bible. You're not looking at an ultra thin, slim line, anything like that. But it is an excellent Bible. And looks like it's 6 3/4 wide. And then we'll look at the depth. Let's see how many raised bands it has on the side. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. Looks like a 6th and a 7th were kind of in development there. So it's almost exactly 2 inches wide, which is about the upper limits of width before a Bible really begins to get too bulky and too wide. Now, if you don't have a strong grip, or you're older, maybe, older lady or something, this may be too heavy of a Bible for you. I don't have a scale. I've thought about getting a little scale here to weigh these Bibles, mainly because a lot of them go upstairs and I don't want to collapse the roof down. But, it's just a great Bible. What can I say? One of the highest quality Bibles that you can get in the world. The price is absolutely fantastic. The paper is just, the ghosting's almost non-existent. The lining is near perfect. It's not quite as dark as I'd have liked it, but it's probably, to eliminate the ghosting, great reader Bible, no doubt about it. And has plenty of room to write. God bless. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.